Homelander is in Washington, D.C. giving an interview to a bunch of reporters. According to him, a giant ship that belongs to the alien race of the Marthrai is rapidly approaching Earth. They have fought these aliens before, but now they've come back and have targeted Payback, who have gone missing for the past few days. He doesn't want to create any panic and reassures the public that every superhero team in the country has joined forces and is going into space to fight off the invasion. Somewhere on an island located west of Costa Rica, a group of men and women are getting ready for a major event, hyping themselves up by doing drugs, getting ready for what's coming next. Homelander is leading the heroes in his fight against the aliens and is quickly leaving the country, but they aren't going into space. They were actually headed to the island where Herogasm is taking place, a giant annual orgy where superheroes from all over the country come to have a good time and relax. James Stillwell, aka the second in command at Vought American, is also headed to the island, but he complains to his superior, saying he doesn't want to go because he has to deal with Homelander and he can't really stand him. Starlight is shocked that they weren't actually going to fight aliens, and that the whole press conference was a lie. They claim to do the same thing every year, but in reality they come here to have a giant orgy amongst each other. Every soup was enjoying themselves trying to anyone and anything they could get their hands on. Queen Maeve plans to do a bunch of brown men herself and recommends to Starlight to do the same, but she has a boyfriend now. In the penthouse, Homelander and Soldier Boy have just finished a wild session, but something was bothering Soldier Boy. He wanted to join the Seven for the past couple of years, saying he doesn't feel welcomed in Payback anymore and wants to leave. But Homelander isn't satisfied with his performance in bed and claims he needs to try again next year. Before leaving, Soldier Boy wonders if what they've been doing is gay, but Homelander reassures him there is nothing gay about making love together. Supes aren't the only ones invited to the island. The Vice President also arrives in Air Force One alongside Vought's representative. The boys were also here spying on them as they descend from the airplanes, but Butcher claims they are not here for the Supes, they are actually here after Vic the Veep. Homelander is enjoying himself and thinks he can have or do anything he wants. He flies high into the clouds, but a big airplane is flying straight towards him at incredible speed. He stands right in front of it and doesn't want to move. Instead, he fires his devastating heat vision straight towards it. He takes out both of the pilots, taking pleasure in killing innocent people and watching them suffer in agony. The Vice President arrives at the hotel and likes what he sees. Supes f***ing whatever they could get their hands on. He gets a little carried away and gropes the Crimson Countess, feeling her amazing breasts with his hands. Homelander arrives but isn't too thrilled to see Stillwell there, asking what he's doing here. Stillwell was the one who suggested bringing the Vice President here, because he wants him to have a good time and unwind. Vic the Veep likes being around people in costumes, and he has a number of vices he enjoys indulging, and Herogasm seemed the obvious place for him to combine the two. Vic is a Vought American plant, but he isn't very smart, and Stillwell wants to prepare him for what's about to happen soon. Within a year, they want to take out the president and put him in charge, and he wants Homelander to make sure the VP and his people are feeling welcomed at Herogasm. Jack from Jupiter brings A-Train into the basement because he wants them to get high by smoking a special kind of weed, one that was cut with Queen Maeve's vaginal mucus. The Crimson Countess was furious at the Vice President for groping her breasts and complains to Stillwell. He tries to calm her down by offering them a bigger share of the revenue for her and her team, but there's a catch. He wants Payback to take out someone that's been bothering them, a group of people who aren't even Supes, but they're a real pain in the ass. Starlight was sitting alone in her apartment, refusing to take part in the giant orgy, so she calls her boyfriend. However, being here got her in the mood, and she wants to have phone sex. But Huey was busy spying with the boys. He goes outside in the warehouse and pulls his pants down, but he isn't alone. Black Noir sees him and sneaks up behind him. As the night draws near, the Supes continue their unhinged orgy, and everyone is doing everything they've ever wanted to do, including the Vice President, who was enjoying himself in the jacuzzi alongside two beautiful women, while a third one was giving him a blowjob. Everybody was in position, ready to make their move. Frenchie and the female were hiding in the trees nearby while Huey was hiding in the sewers. Up on the last floor, Mother's Milk does his part and pushes the doofer off the building. Doofer is a solid steel soup, member of the fantastic team who attends Herogasm every year. He falls straight into the jacuzzi below, causing a massive splash, while the boys begin their attack. The attack was swift and nobody even saw them, but the Secret Service is able to secure the Vice President while the girls try to run away. While everyone is busy on the surface, Black Noir makes his move as well and kidnaps Huey. He takes him into a dark corner, covers his mouth so he can't speak, and then pulls his pants down. But he wasn't done just yet. He then uses his thumb to violate him while talking to him for the first time, calling him a good soldier over and over. Homelander arrives and inspects the crime scene, trying to see what happened to the doofer and why he attacked the Vice President. The fall killed him, but they don't suspect any foul play and think he just overdosed on something and accidentally fell from the balcony. Nobody knew what happened to Huey after Black Noir kidnapped him. Butcher was looking for him in the sewers, but he just lay in a dark corner scared shitless. Herogasm was as wild as ever and Coagula made an entrance. He is one of Black Noir's villains who thinks he's in ancient Rome or something, but he just creeps out the other supes. A-Train is curious to know more about Black Noir, saying it's kind of creepy the way he just attends the meetings but never moves or talks to anyone. When Starlight was blowing them, he never uttered a single word, not even when he finished. One of the people working for Stillwell informs him that a plane flying from Sydney to Los Angeles has suspiciously gone missing. They were able to get a copy of the transcript just seconds before the transmission cut off, and they suspect that Homelander might be involved. Stillwell wants to approach Vic the Veep later tonight at dinner, saying their plans can't wait any longer. Huey goes back to the hideout and reunites with the boys, claiming he hit his head and knocked himself unconscious. That's why he wasn't answering his phone. Butcher says the mission was a success and they were able to kidnap their target, but it wasn't the vice president who they were after. It was actually Michael Lucero, an agent working for the United States Secret Service. The boys begin interrogating Agent Lucero, who is part of the vice president's Secret Service team. But Butcher claims they are the good guys, and instead of beating him up, he takes his knife and unties him. Lucero approached the CIA because he had important information about the VP, and he doesn't know who he can trust. Meanwhile, Homelander expects his teammates to attend the Supies tonight, a ceremony to reward the greatest superhero in the country, and tonight, it's his turn. Agent Lucero claims that agents working for the Secret Service are part of a bigger organization called Red River, which is secretly run by Vought American. He only wanted to serve his country and protect the president, but sadly for him, he got assigned to watching the VP. One night, he was guarding Vic the Veep inside a brothel, but the guy couldn't open a condom, so he asked him. Lucero did what he had to do, but that wasn't enough. He also had to put the condom on the vice president, which almost made him quit the Secret Service. He started having serious doubts during the 9/11 attacks, when many planes were hijacked by terrorists. Dakota Bob, aka the President of the United States, was ordering army planes to take down the planes, in hopes of minimizing casualties, and Lucero was proud to see him in action. One by one, the army took down all of the hijacked planes, until there was only one left, heading straight for New York City. Suddenly, someone hit the president over the head with a fire extinguisher, but nobody saw anything and assumed he just fell on the ground and hit his head. Vic the Veep took over command and replaced him as the new commander-in-chief. He gave the order to hold weapons and not take down the last plane heading for New York. Vought American wanted to use the 7 to save the day, but things didn't work out as planned, and the plane eventually crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. Ever since that day, the president and the vice president have been at each other's throats, keeping an eye on each other and watching their backs. Red River agents have infiltrated both teams, and Lucero doesn't know who is working for Vought American and who isn't. Meanwhile, Stillwell and Vic the Veep were having a secret meeting, where he was informed that the president will be dead within a year. Stillwell wants the vice president to become the new president and oversee the adoption of superhuman power by the US Department of Defense. Vic the Veep doesn't say anything and just agrees to everything that's been dictated to him. After the interrogation was over, Butcher talks to Huey, but he couldn't help but notice that he was scratching his ass a lot. Huey gets defensive and wants to change the subject, remarking that he's tired of being the standing joke of the group. Stillwell goes to the bar to have a few drinks and unwind, but a beautiful redhead starts hitting on him. Her name is Shauna, and she comes clean as being a prostitute, but tonight she's off the clock and just wants to talk to him. Before the ceremony begins, everyone is at the bar having a few drinks and enjoying themselves. Queen Maeve and Starlight gossip about the other females there, introducing her to the 3 of the biggest sluts around. Huey can't stop thinking about what Black Noir did to him, but he doesn't understand why he didn't tell the other 7 about him being there. The Supies begin, and the Element Force wins the award for the best new team. Starlight announces the award for Lifetime Achievement, an award for one of the oldest superheroes still alive. The guy could barely walk and talk, and Jack from Jupiter calls him a coffin dodger, making A-Train laugh. Stillwell is smart enough to know when he's being played, and realizes that Shauna was paid by someone to seduce him and keep him busy at the bar. He wants to know who that person is and threatens to end her if she refuses to say the name. As expected, Homelander wins the award for the greatest hero, but it wasn't the first he's won. He claims that when they first arrived on the island he did something bad, remarking that he's the greatest soup in the world and he can do anything he wants. He wants to tell the others what he did, but before he could say it, Stillwell walks through the door and he quickly changes his mind. He goes backstage infuriated and breaks his trophy, while barely controlling his anger. The Red River agents have ordered a sweep of the entire island. realizing that someone else besides the Supes was there, and Lucero panics. He knows that if they keep digging, they're gonna find the boys and all hell will break loose. The boys were hiding in the hangar, right next to their getaway airplane, while the Red River agents were closing in on them. Lucero and his partner surprised them from behind, threatening the other agents and asking them to drop their weapons. The boys join as well, and together they easily incapacitate all of the agents. Butcher wants to kidnap them and bring them over back to New York City for further interrogation. Herogasm is now over, and everyone is getting ready to leave, but the Homelander was still pissed he couldn't finish his speech in front of the large crowd of superheroes. Air Force One was also getting ready for takeoff, but for some unknown reason, Vic the Veep starts wandering around. The Red River agents knew they were gonna get killed once they left the island and decided to take their chances. After a short struggle, they are able to free themselves and they take Lucero prisoner and kill his partner in cold blood. Seeing his partner killed drives Lucero crazy and he attacks one of the agents, but during the altercation, he gets shot in the chest. The airplane takes off, leaving the boys stranded on the island with no way of getting back. Frenchie throws the female as hard as he can, and she is able to grab onto the airplane wing just as it was taking off. The vice president's chief of staff was working for Vote American, and he wanted to bring Vic the Veep back aboard Air Force One. Lucero knows his true identity and shoots him straight in the face, instantly killing him and calling him a disgrace for betraying his country. The female is able to climb on top of one of the engines and breaks it apart using her bare hands. The airplane comes crashing down and hits the ground, causing a massive explosion and killing the Red River agents on board. The female, however, was still alive, and she comes flying down using one of the plane engines, while Butcher remarks that she looks like Mary Poppins. The boys find another plane and take Lucero's body back with them, while Mother's Milk covers it with the flag. Huey doesn't understand this ritual, remarking that the flag doesn't mean much for his people back home.